Phil here from Wings of Pegasus and welcome to another analysis video. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. So tonight we're going to be taking a look at a singer that I hadn't heard of before, and I was sent a couple of videos, and since being sent a few videos, this particular singer called Shreya Ghoshal, I believe, hopefully that's the correct way to say her name, but Shreya is an Indian singer who is just amazingly accurate with her pitch. Now, what I'm going to be addressing in tonight's video is her live vocal and then another vocal, and I've seen actually a lot of videos like the second video we're going to be taking a look at where it's actually pitch corrected. But this is something that I see happening more and more on the internet, where there's a singer who has amazingly accurate pitch, but of course not on the lines of A440 standard pitch equal temperament all the time, because they've got human vocal cords and human vocal cords are not calibrated to A440. So she has really accurate pitch, which we will see, but she's not going to be on the lines all the time. Now what happens is a singer who has this reputation of being so accurate then shows auto-tune / pitch correct that singer's voice to, I don't know, to perpetuate this impression that people get of her being so accurate. And it doesn't have to be a female vocalist, but male vocalists as well. And I don't really understand it. And we saw it on the channel where there was somebody, there's a female vocalist who was auditioning for a talent show, whether it is like X Factor or, you know, Wherever's Got Talent, something like that. And the judges thought that she was using auto-tune when she actually wasn't at the audition, but then the show applied auto-tune to her voice, so everyone watching it would think that her voice sounded like auto-tune. And then we went and looked at her voice naturally, and guess what? Like every human ever, she wasn't on the lines all the time in multiple performances that we looked at. It was the show that then perpetuated this illusion of her sounding like auto-tune by using actual auto-tune. As always, links are in the description below if you guys want to check these videos out independently, but let's jump into it. So I'm going to jump in here. I mean, just the style of singing is so impressive because of the way that the pitch changes so quickly, but Shreya's accuracy is just amazing. But she does have human vocal cords, so even though it sounds like, you know, we are spot on all the time, when we are looking at pitch, you know, plotted on a graph, you'll see how, I mean, here we're kind of ever so slightly below, and here, you know, you could say pretty much on the line, and here pretty much on the line. As we move forward, we now kind of have, you know, a little bit sharp here, but on the line. And what I'm going to do is just take this back. So I think this was actually the same note. Yeah, it was. So we have this, obviously we went back down to what would have been the B4 after this really quick touch up to the C sharp 5. So really impressive. But again, this is something that we interpret with our ears as coming down to the same pitch, but you can see the difference between these two. And then when we come down here with the human voice, the natural human voice, you're always going to get a reset, which means that you have maybe the vocal on the line again maybe, and then it won't be on the line. There'll always be a break of where the vocal cords just go where they go because they're not calibrated. And this isn't pitch corrected or auto-tuned, but you can see in sections where she is so accurate. And again, these tiny little drifts that we have that are ever so slightly below the line. And here, again, this little flick up to the D5, and then we come down and go below the C-sharp 5. Vibrato in here as well. And look at how we just stop off at the A4 there perfectly, and then we're just a little bit above. This is massively accurate for a vocalist to be, first of all, this flexible. And you know, I know that this is very much the style of singing, and why whenever I've heard it, I've always been impressed at the vocal cord flexibility to achieve this. Yeah, and it's great. But anyway, here, you know, between lines, and even when if we want to zoom in, well, that's kind of clearly between the lines there. But even when we zoom in, you'll see this kind of natural variation, even though, you know, this is a super accurate vocal, and yeah, a little bit sharp here, and then here we slide down, and we, you know, a little bit sharper the note there. Here we come down and we level out sharp again, and we're kind of between notes here. So again, even though it sounds really accurate, and I'm not surprised that people listen to this voice and think, wow, this is just amazing from a pitch standpoint, because it is. When you're listening to how quickly she's changing notes and how accurate she is with her intervals, it is massively impressive. But what it is not is pitch corrected and auto-tuned in this case. So now, here's another video where it looks like she's either a guest on the show or maybe a judge on a singing competition, and I'll let this play. So, I mean, hopefully you can see on screen now that we are directly over the lines of A440, standard pitch equal temperament, but this audio is corrected. She doesn't need it in the first place, but they felt like, I don't know, because her voice is so accurate, they've now manufactured the accuracy when it wouldn't have needed it anyway. And this is now on a TV show, and you can hear the crowd and the other judges, if they are judges, talking. And it's obviously an impromptu vocal, but the impromptu vocal has been post-pitch corrected. So I don't know what's going on and why people and shows are doing this. Because these people listening to it are not hearing the pitch corrected version of her voice. She's hearing the voice that we heard previously, which is really impressive, really accurate. But now the problem is going to be when somebody says, oh, Shreya is really accurate with her pitch. People that have seen the auto-tune version will say, well, no, she isn't. She uses auto-tune. And then again, we've got this same argument that is happening throughout the music industry and across the world, where people are arguing with other people because they've heard a great vocalist who's been pitch corrected or auto-tuned, and they think that they need that. Whereas the die-hard fans will know that the artist doesn't need that and would have heard their natural voice. So they're arguing because they've heard different versions of the singer's voice, but one has been heavily edited. Let's listen on. And you'll always get this, whenever there's a held note, without vibrato, it's going to be over A440. Look at this down here. And you can actually hear the processing. So, when I was saying about the resets that happen, in this vocal phrase, we were on the line here, we were on the line here, on the line, on the line, on the line, here, ever so slightly flat, because this isn't auto-tune, like this is somebody trying to subtly correct it, but it didn't need correcting, but they've tried to do it so that you can't tell. On the line, on the line, on the line, vibrato, on the line, on the line. So just in this snapshot, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I won't count that, 7, 8, 9, I mean 10 if we're counting this vibrato as a break in the note, but we won't, 9, 10. So in a snapshot of what we can see on screen, she's been on A440 10 times. which there's only one explanation for that, and that's calibration to A440. And I mean, we can continue on counting. 10, 11, 12 again if we count this, but 11, 12, vibrato, held on, 13, 14, 15, 16, even here just touching up to the G sharp 5 perfectly. But at least they've allowed her vibrato to be where it would have been when she was actually singing. But again, the people listening to this, they're getting to hear her natural voice and not this manufactured one we're hearing. And again, I mean, if we were counting the lines, the straight lines that we're hitting here, we'd be up to what, 20 plus? So I always say that it's night and day when you compare that to an actual live vocal. Let me try and get an equivalent. Right, so tell me where the 10 times in a row is happening here. Let me move on to the next part. Where the 10 times in a row happening here. You could say, you know, below the line here, below the line, below the line, below the line, below the line. Now move it forward again. Here, below the line, and this is below the line. Vibrato. In the other performance, you could say that the vibrato was allowed to be where it was. So even if that was, you know, allowed to be there, these should all be on the line if it's her natural voice that she could calibrate somehow her vocal cords to A440. Now here, again, good example, started on the line and then drifted a little bit below. Here, sharp, here, below, went up. Here, pretty much on, but then we were sharp again. So yeah, you're never ever going to get a singer's voice hitting lines 10 times in a row in this short space of time unless it's calibrated to A440 standard pitch equal temperament. So the point of this video is just to, I guess, make you aware of what's going on. And the modern day equivalent, or no, I should say that the previous generation's equivalent of this would be taking Karen Carpenter's voice, who was really accurate, and making a video to show how accurate she was, and you've auto-tuned her vocal. So that is what's happening. You have a vocalist who's renowned for being really accurate pitch-wise, and to show that, you've auto-tuned their voice. So hopefully you can see it from my point of view as a musician and somebody who tries to sing as accurately as possible. When somebody has a great voice, you don't have to make it better. You don't have to falsify their pitch and calibrate it to A440 to prove your point. They have proven the point already with their natural voice. So yeah, I will say that this live performance that we're looking at here is massively impressive for a natural vocal. And the times where we're not on the lines, that doesn't matter, because this is more accurate than 99% of other vocalists that you will be listening to. But anyway, thank you guys for sending me these videos. As always, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Keep the suggestions for future analysis videos coming in the comment section as well. And if you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And I'll catch you guys at the next one. Rock!